right now.
A man is behind bars this morning after throwing acid at San Antonio police. What led up to this? Up next.
And another man in jail this morning for the alleged murder of his wife. But get this, what he had to say about it coming up.
And today marks the start of the Texas special legislative session. What lawmakers will address regarding the flooding, THC, redistricting, and property taxes.
And good morning and happy Monday. Thanks so much for getting up with us on this summer Monday. We're getting closer and closer to the start of school. Is that not crazy?
I know. I think it's down to 3 weeks or something like that at my house. Like, we have to go do shopping and all of that. So anyway, we'll get there.
Yes, definitely. Let's check in with meteorologist Shelby Ebertowski. Hey, we're finally in the dry spell.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, it's great to be a little on the drier side considering we had so much rain, not only in June, but even the start of July. But this morning you're waking up feeling a little humid. Temperatures right now outside sitting in those 70s, 77 degrees in San Antonio. 79 is what it feels like due to that humidity. And most of our dew point temperatures are within about a 5 to 10 degree range. So you're feeling muggier too this morning. But later today, we're not expecting our temperatures to get to those mid 90s or even those upper 90s. We're continuing to see the temperatures get to about 94 degrees later today, but that cloud coverage is going to continue to stick around throughout most of the day, allowing for our temperatures to be in those mid 90s. But we're not going to feel that much warmer because of that cloud coverage. I know the last few days we've seen most of the temperatures jump to those triple digits. That's not in the forecast today. For some areas near Cotulla and near the Rio Grande, yes, but the heat really sticks around later this week. We're tracking that big blue H, that normal heat high we see in the month of July, and that's going to continue to move over later this week to give us those temperatures in those mid to upper 90s, even near triple digits. I'll talk about that coming up. But what are the roads looking outside right now, guys?
All right, Shelby, thank you very much. Our first look at traffic is RJ's out, so Japhanie and I and Alex, we're gonna tag team the traffic situation today, and we'll start by showing you some of the cameras here this morning. Pretty quiet as you might expect on this Monday morning. Just some construction to show you in the typical spots on the northwest side in the Helotes area, 1604. As approaching I-10 near Bandera. That stretch, of course, is ongoing for a number of years now. And then in the downtown area, construction as well this morning. Some bridge joint work happening on the lower level of 35. That, again, RJ has been talking about for a long time. But right now, we're just cycling through some of these cameras and giving you an idea of what's happening. Not a lot to see. No accidents being reported right now. So, Japhanie, that is certainly good news.
Oh, definitely. Photojournalist Alex Gomez, he is out on the roadways for us on this Monday. Alex, is it just as peaceful from your standpoint?
Yeah, I'd say so, Japhanie. Good morning and happy Monday. Right now, I'm starting off the drive in the downtown area. I already checked out I-37. Now I'm on I-35 northbound, and I can definitely see that construction still ongoing. So just watch out for those barrels out here. But right now, I'm tracking no crashes across the city. Happy Monday, Japhanie.
All right, happy Monday to you too, Alex. We'll check in with you throughout the show.
All right, we have an update now to a standoff that happened over the weekend.
So a man wanted on multiple felony warrants was arrested after throwing an acidic substance at San Antonio police. Officers tried to arrest 38-year-old James Andrew Werner at the Sunterra Blue apartment sign. Werner's father warned police that he planned to use this nitric acid. During that attempt, Werner threw the acid, which sizzled on the ground.
Now, SAPD says that he escaped, barricaded himself, threw more acid, and then even launched a Molotov cocktail while threatening officers. His bond is now set at $40,000.
The hunt for this man right here, you see behind me, this is 49-year-old Charles Byrd. He's waking up in jail this morning.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirmed this last night. BCSO officials say that he may be connected to the death of his wife, who deputies found wrapped in plastic inside the couple's South Bexar County home.
The BCSO received a tip from somebody about Byrd's location. Police gave limited information, but we do know a SWAT scene over the weekend was connected to this.
So this was about a mile down the road from the couple's home. The suspect's vehicle was hidden, and he was found hiding in a house nearby.
Do you have anything to say to the family?
I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because I love my wife.
Why'd you do it?
Mental break.
So at this point, he is being booked into the Bexar County Jail for tampering with evidence with intent to impair. human corpse, the investigation of a human corpse. At this point, we have not yet reached the point in the investigation where we can charge him with murder.
Now, again, as Javier Salazar says, at this time, Burt has been charged with tampering with evidence. But again, that's at least until the medical examiner figures out a cause of death.
And that was pretty shocking to me, that he had not been arrested before. He had never committed a crime before. And then blurted out the comment to our investigator, go big or go home.
Now, Sheriff Salazar says that they are still investigating, and again, more charges are expected.
San Marcos police are still looking for a suspect and a witness in a deadly shooting over the weekend. It happened near Texas State's campus early Saturday morning. Well, San Marcos police arrested a man that they say was responsible for the shooting. But they're searching for Avery Saul Bowman Jr., who they say was involved in a fight that led to the shooting. He is wanted for capital murder. They're also looking for this man right here who recorded the shooting on his phone. Investigators are looking for as much evidence as possible.
As of yet, he's not been identified, so if you know who he is not in trouble. He is a witness. I want to reinforce that. We just want to see what he saw through his cell phone.
But if you do know the other suspect in the case or have any information, pictures or videos, you're asked to contact San Marcos Police, and that number is 512-753-2108. The person arrested so far in this case, though, is 19-year-old Jeremiah Jaden Tobias. He's charged with 2 counts of capital murder and aggravated assault.
Well, this morning, there is a major drop in the number of missing people from the flooding in Kirk County. Just a week ago, the number went from 161 down to 97.
Well, get this. Over the weekend, Kerrville officials said that they're now only looking for 3 people. Officials say that they were able to work that number down by communicating with agencies across the state and determining that many of those who'd been reported missing at first were instead found safe.
Now, as for the death toll in Kirk County, the number did not change, staying at 107. The last time officials there reported an increase in the death toll was 4 days ago.
We've reached out to Kirk County officials for an interview, but again, were declined. They did email us, though, a statement that says, in part, quote, "We understand how critical it is to report this information accurately, not only for the families affected, but for the integrity of our emergency response as a whole," end quote.
So the rest of the statement reads, quote, "While the updated figure offers some relief, searchers remain focused on reuniting the 3 individuals who are still unaccounted for with their families. State and local officials continue to work with urgency and care to locate them," end quote.
All right, coming up right now, happening today, we got state lawmakers meeting in Austin for the special legislative session.
So we got a lot to discuss on the agenda over the next 30 days with things like the STAR testing and a potential THC ban, and of course, new items around disaster and flood preparedness.
Our Patty Santos joining us here in the studio this morning to break down what lawmakers will be talking about and why some conservative groups are advocating for a change along the floor plans.
Hey there, good morning, guys. So there are 18 items on this special session agenda called by Governor Greg Abbott, including a flood warning system and relief funding for the victims. Now, he wants legislation to improve the early warning system and find ways to strengthen the emergency communication and other responses in flood-prone areas in Texas. And he wants to simplify the current rules so that it's faster and easier to get ready for natural disasters and recover afterwards. But a coalition of natural resource experts say this is a good start, but they want to go a step further. They want to stop development in the 100-year floodplain and take all necessary actions to keep people away from rebuilding in the most severely impacted areas.
This legislature needs to find a way to incentivize and encourage those people not to rebuild in the floodplain. There's often a strong leaning toward private property rights, which I truly respect. But what some people forget is that when they say, hey, I'm willing to take on the risk of building in the flood zone, that they're also then putting their family members at risk.
And the group says it's not a matter of if another flood event like this will happen again, it's a matter of when. And they're concerned about the safety of people living in the area and the first responders who would need to save them. The session itself can last up to 30 days, and state lawmakers can only work on the governor's agenda items. That's those 18 items we mentioned. On Wednesday, the Joint Disaster Preparedness and Flooding Committee will meet in Austin, and then they're going to meet in Kerrville a week later on July 31st. KSAT will have a reporter at the state capitol tonight.
Well, we are going to warm up, not really today, but later on this week. Temperatures jumping to those mid to upper 90s because of that heat high. But I'll talk about what the heat high is bringing for us today coming up.
Also coming up, we're going to give you some details on just one of the many ways that you can help with people in the Hill Country.
Plus, we got a group of foreign volunteers are still continuing with search and recovery efforts in the Hill Country. What their operations look like after the break.
At 5:13 now on this Monday, foreign volunteers have made their way to the Texas Hill Country to help with flood, search, rescue, and recovery efforts. A group of firefighters from the Czech Republic joined the Texas National Guard last week, and they will wrap up their time this week as the number of missing people continues to drop dramatically.
Cooperation between teams and coordination is really smooth.
What do you do as a drone operator in a situation like this?
Okay, when we are searching in the forest, we are using the small one drone, and if it's very hard for our dogs, we will make a first recognition, and the dog handler can see it on the monitor, and then he will go with the dog there.
Now, search, rescue, and recovery efforts will continue in the Hill Country per a Kerr County joint press release.
Okay, in the 2 weeks since the devastating floods, the community has stepped up in many ways to help, from the donations to the volunteers to search and rescue. If you still want to give back, there's another opportunity coming up this week. This Wednesday, which is July 23rd, there will be a Hill Country blood drive at 10 a.m., which will run until 3 p.m. It's happening over the Hill Country Veterans Center. That's located at 411 Meadow View Lane in Kerrville.
And Goodwill is opening a donation distribution center to help those affected. That center in Kerrville is open to the public today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., offering free access to donated clothing, shoes, and household goods. Goodwill is also donating proceeds from their Roundup program to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. From now until August 10th, shoppers at all 24 Goodwill San Antonio stores can round up their purchases to the next dollar to support flood relief.
As Kerrville ISD plans to head back to school this year, they need that extra help. The Comal Education Foundation and Comal ISD Council of PTAs are hosting a school supply drive through July 25th. They'll be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, where donations can be dropped off at the Comal ISD Support Services Building. That's near Loop 337 in New Braunfels. All right, checking out the roadways right now this morning. Again, good morning. Waking up with us on this Monday. Good morning, San Antonio, right there on 1604 and Green Mountain Road. You see traffic is moving along just fine. Also 1604 and Lookout Road. You too looking crash free at this time. Checking out TxDOT, we are seeing just a bunch of construction zones. No crashes, which is good news on this Monday. But again, those construction zones that you might be aware of, one of them being at 1604 and Bandera eastbound. Of course, that whole situation is blocked off. So if that is a part of your commute, hopefully you found a workaround by now at this time of the week.
All right, Alex Gomez doing his thing on a Monday out and about in Drive Cam 4. It's time to check in to see where he is and how many cups of coffee he's had so far.
Yes, still on my first one, Ernie. Good morning, and right now I actually made it to the north side. I just passed the airport on 281 northbound. This is near Brook Hollows right here. And yeah, so far so good. Couldn't have asked for better driving conditions because right now we have dry roads out here. Nothing slowing us down, Ernie.
Fantastic. All right, we'll continue to keep an eye on all of that. We'll check in with Alex coming up in just a little bit.
Well, today is going to be a warm day, yes, but we're going to still sit just barely below average by about 1 degree or so. But not only that, we're also going to continue to see the clouds stick around today and tomorrow, but tomorrow is actually when they finally start to leave. And then we're really left with the heat and even rain chances next weekend. And I'll cover this later on here during the 5 o'clock show. But first off, I wanted to start with what you're feeling right now. Temperatures still sitting in those 77 degrees in San Antonio, 76 in areas of Castroville. But like I mentioned earlier, the dew point temperatures, they're just within about 5 to 10 degrees for most of us. So you're waking up feeling a little muggy for some of us today, and that's going to continue over the next few hours. We're going to continue to see some muggier conditions throughout the rest of your afternoon, or even your morning and afternoon. Temperatures, like I mentioned, are getting to those mid to upper 80s by lunchtime. Even temperatures still sitting in those 90s for tomorrow. But this is a look at what we saw for the month of July so far. Where you see those blue and those gray colors, that's where we've seen above or below average or right at average. Remember, our average temperature for the month of July is about 95 degrees. So it gives about 2 degrees, give or take, for it to be considered near average. We've only had 2 days above average temperatures, and that's about 98, 97. Normally in July, we've seen triple digits at least, and we've only had 2 days above average. Most of the days have been in those mid to upper 80s, even some low 90s. And like I mentioned earlier, we've only had 3 days where we've gotten above 100 degrees. Even by last year, even by July 19th last year, we already had 12 days. The year before, about 25. And even back in 2022, when we kept seeing those warm and hot days coming back to back, we'd already seen 40 days of 100 degrees or more. So it's definitely going to continue to be below average. But I mean, I think we're okay with not seeing those triple digits as much as we have in the past. Saharan dust, though, is going to make a comeback today and tomorrow. It started last night into this morning, and I did switch like the color palette so you can kind of see where exactly the smoke is. Now, that one plume is in between College Station, Hallettsville, Victoria, and even up near Dallas, Abilene, San Angelo, and Marfa. However, we are tracking more later on today. It's going to continue to be very light today, but still something. The Saharan dust, like we've been mentioning, get brought over into areas of the Gulf with those trade winds, and throughout the rest of your afternoon, we're going to continue to see that one plume that's already kind of sitting in Texas continue to move up. But otherwise, as that continues to move up, it's really not going to have too much of an impact. It's going to be very light for most of us, just kind of a hazy horizon for some, and even a very small dip in the air quality. So if you are sensitive, you might notice a little bit as well. And even then, a small chance of a little remainder dust tomorrow morning, and that's pretty much going to be it. It's not going to be as big as we've seen it before with the Saharan dust. And then we're starting to dry things out. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, but then on Wednesday, mostly clear skies. And then we get to our rain chances next week, getting to about a 20 to 30% chance on Friday and Saturday. And that's what we're watching for our next chance of rain. But we'll keep you posted on the very latest, guys.
All right. Thanks so much, Shelby. Looks like turning out to be a normal summer again.
Exactly. 5:20 right now, 77 degrees outside.
The U.S. looking into a major hack of Microsoft products used by state and federal agencies. Got Andrew Dimber with the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, an alert about a cyber attack at Microsoft. The company says hackers are targeting its SharePoint servers used by government agencies and businesses, gaining access through a previously unknown vulnerability. Microsoft is urging customers to immediately install newly issued security updates. Next, another camera on the upcoming iPad Pro. Bloomberg reports the new model will have a second front-facing camera, making it easier to take selfies in both portrait and landscape mode. The new model is expected to debut later this year. Finally, an experimental AI model from the makers of ChatGPT took home a gold medal at a prestigious math competition. The model from OpenAI completed advanced algebra and calculus problems in the International Math Olympiad exam. Some experts had predicted it would take until 2027 for AI to solve such complex equations. Now, I like algebra, can do a little bit of calculus, but geometry, that's where I draw the line. Those are your Tech Bites.
All right, a reminder now, KSAT, we want to hear from you and in person. We're going to host a town hall this week at Santikos Casablanca, where we're going to be discussing how to receive all of our KSAT content, signal issues, and taking questions from the community. We'd love for you to be there, so you just scan the QR code on your screen to sign up for a seat. It's a free event happening this Wednesday evening from 7 to 8. Details for the entire event can be found on our website at ksat.com.
We're looking at 524 right now, 77 degrees outside.
All right, so today a judge will hear arguments between Harvard University and the Trump administration. What we are expecting both sides to argue. That's coming up.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, our Patty Santos going to tell you a little bit about a group of veteran volunteers in Hunt and what type of work they're doing. Coming up on 5:30 right now on your Monday morning. We got Ernie back in the building after being on vacation, looking well tanned.
Well, thank you. I had to make sure
Well
I had to make
rested.
sure this still fit because I made plenty of crazy
whatever.
eating decisions while I was gone.
Well,
But
Calories don't count on vacation.
boom.
really? Okay.
That's what I told Justin before he left.
That's
Well,
true.
hey, and speaking of which, again, we're in that week where a lot of people on vacations.
Yeah.
RJ Marquez on vacation, Justin Horn is on vacation, and the weather looks pretty vacation-like for the rest of the week.
It does look very vacation-like, and temperatures are going to, yes, have their moments where they're going to be on the warmer side, but right now today's going to be a beautiful day. We're not expecting temperatures to be so warm. We're expecting them to be kind of average. Right now you're waking up still in those 70s. Still a little humid though, about 88% for the humidity. So that is going to be a factor this morning. But most of us still sitting in those 70s, not really even seeing any 80s this morning. But throughout the rest of your afternoon, like I mentioned, we are going to warm up. We're not expecting to get to those upper 90s though, and that's the thing. We're expecting those upper 90s that we normally see, very seasonable for this time of year, very much July for most of us. That's coming later this week. Today, we're just going to get to about 94 degrees, and that's because of that cloud coverage. That's going to kind of keep us a few degrees cooler than what we would normally see. And later this week, we do have some rain. I'll get to that in just a second. But so far in the month of July, we've only seen about an inch of rain so far. Granted, most of it came within the first week or so for the month of July. And then we had a few sprinkles, but it's been almost a week since we've seen any sort of rain here at the San Antonio airport. Other areas, once again, have seen heavier rainfall in the last month or so, but we have some more chances of rain later this weekend. It's starting really Thursday night, but pretty much Friday morning into the weekend. I'll break down your weekend forecast for you coming up in a bit of what that kind of looks like. But how are the roads looking outside right now, guys?
All right, so far so good on this Monday. As we take a look at traffic outside, I want to draw your attention to this, the infamous Fine Silver Curve, which has construction on it right now. I mean, how many times have we seen people or 18-wheelers hit this area right here, the guardrail? So they're actually doing some repairs and reinforcements on this right now. So it is down to one lane for people who are up at this hour and maybe coming out of the downtown area. Specifically, it's listed as bridge joint repair work on the upper level of 35 there between Savallo Street and Laredo, but we know that as the Fine Silver Curve. So otherwise, not a lot to see right now. No reports of any accidents, just some overnight construction that is back underway after the weekend. So we'll continue to keep an eye on all of that and monitor this to see how long this stays like at that. But again, down to one lane right now at the Fine Silver Curve, Japhanie.
Photojournalist Alex Gomez on the road as we speak this morning. Good morning, Alex. You seeing anything yet?
No, not yet, Japhanie. Good morning. And I was also going to say traffic also looks very vacation-like because hardly any drivers out here on the far northwest side. Check out 1604 southbound right near Braun Road. So far, we're looking good, and I have no crashes to report, Japhanie.
All right, man. Let's hopefully we keep it that way throughout this morning. Thanks so much, Alex. Please stay safe out there. It is 5:30 right now. We're looking at 77 degrees outside. And this morning, we know the name of a man who was shot and killed during a fight at a West Side apartment complex. That person, 34-year-old Raul Zuniga, died from a gunshot wound to the torso. This happened on Wednesday around 11 p.m. near South Hamilton Avenue and Laredo Street. Witnesses saw 2 to 3 men were fighting before Zuniga was shot in the back. The suspects ran off and have not been caught, but police are still investigating what led to this altercation.
It's a big day in the months-long battle between Harvard University and the Trump administration. A federal judge is hearing oral arguments related to 2 lawsuits. They challenge the government's freezing of billions of dollars in funding for Harvard. President Donald Trump argues the school's DEI efforts are discriminatory. He also alleges its handling of pro-Palestinian demonstrations was harmful to Jewish students. Harvard's lawsuit alleges freezing the funds, quote, has nothing to do with anti-Semitism, end quote. The school argues that the president really wants, quote, control over its academic enterprise. The second lawsuit is from a faculty group and is making similar arguments.
This morning, we got some parents who are worried about losing a free summer learning program for their children. The program provides a safe place, warm meals, and English lessons. But funding from the federal government was suddenly frozen, putting thousands of programs like this in jeopardy. Organizers are scrambling to keep doors open while families fear losing crucial support. States are now suing to get the money released. But for now, the future still remains uncertain.
Another family is giving back for a different cause. A Uvalde school shooting victim's love of the game is living on in her teammates. Tess Mata played softball and worked on improving her pitching skills. She's one of the 19 children and 2 teachers who were killed at Robb Elementary. Now, in Tess's honor, her parents launched a nonprofit called Gloves for Tess to help give young athletes quality softball gloves. Well, yesterday they were presented with a check by Dick's Sporting Goods to help them do that. They want to give away 13 gloves to players in Uvalde, including Tess's former teammates and high school players, plus one who grew up with Mata. Now, that number, 13, is especially significant since Tess would have turned 13 this year.
Hundreds of people two-stepped at Green Hall yesterday, all to help out Crider's Rodeo and Dance Hall in Kerrville. Crider's was set to celebrate its 100th anniversary on July 4th. However, during the centennial anniversary, floodwaters rose into its restaurant and completely submerged its rodeo grounds. Our Devin Karp spent the day talking with those on the dance floor and hearing why the Crider family says that it means so much to see Texans being Texans.
The support has helped, there's so many people behind us and all the families and hunt community and stuff that it's kind of like that boost of we have support behind us. We can rebuild. We can, try to pick up the pieces and keep going.
The Dance Hall to Dance Hall event pledged to donate all proceeds to Crider's Rodeo and Dance Hall. And again, we got to remind you, our Together for Texas campaign still running, and that QR code on your screen is going to get you to a place where you can donate. Your help, we've already raised more than $921,000, so we can't say thank you enough for keeping that price going up. 100% of the funds are going to those impacted by the flooding through the work of the Salvation Army.
And like I mentioned earlier, although we're going to sit dry today, we're tracking more rain this week, and that can kind of cause a little bit of a damper for your plans. I'll break down a loose time and track coming up.
All right, Shelby, thank you. Temporary ground for all flights for Alaska Airlines was lifted this morning. Why the airline says that they had to do that.
And we got a Border Patrol was shot in New York. What a camera tells us about the shooting.
And right now, traffic has had open roads throughout the city. I've been on the north side, even made my way through downtown. Right now, I am on 151 on the west side. After the break, I will give you a full report of what I'm seeing out here on the highways.
Welcome back. It is 5:41. We are learning more details about a suspect accused of shooting an off-duty Border Patrol agent in Park in New York.
So the violence caught on camera is raising new questions about undocumented immigrants, crime, and deportations. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the latest.
A U.S. Border Patrol officer is now recovering after being shot in the face during a botched robbery in a New York City park. This surveillance video released by Homeland Security shows 2 men on a scooter approaching the off-duty agent and a female companion when one of them pulls a gun.
At this time, we have no indication that the officer was targeted for his employment.
The agent was shot in the face and the arm, but managed to return fire, hitting the gunman in the leg. The suspect, 21-year-old Miguel Mora, later walked into a hospital and is now in custody. Authorities say he's a Dominican national who entered the country illegally through Arizona in 2023 and was ordered deported last fall. Since then, they say he's been arrested multiple times for domestic violence, was wanted for a robbery and a stabbing. And according to the New York's mayor, he was also wanted for a kidnapping in Massachusetts.
In less than 1 year, he has inflicted violence in our city. And once he is charged for last night's crimes, we will be able to add attempted murder to his rap sheet.
The case sparking questions as to why Mora was still on the streets amid ongoing ICE activity and the focus on deporting violent criminals. Police are now looking for the second suspect who fled on that scooter. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Well, Alaska Airlines temporarily grounded all flights on Sunday night due to an IT outage. The FAA said the group stop started around 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time, affecting both Alaska Airlines and its regional subsidiary Horizon Air. By 2 a.m. this morning, the ground stop was lifted and operations had resumed. The airline warned of delays as they worked to get back to normal and apologized to travelers for the inconvenience. This is the second time in just over a year the airline has experienced a system-wide grounding.
Happening today, Comal ISD is hosting a summer job fair from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Support Services building. The district hiring for a wide range of positions, including bus drivers, custodians, teachers with a focus on special programs and special education and more. Those interested as bus drivers can get that hands-on experience today, where under the supervision of a Comal ISD transportation officials, participants will have the chance to take the wheel and navigate a school bus around the parking lot. For a full list of openings, you can visit the district's website.
Also happening today, the SAISD Foundation is asking for your help to support college-bound graduates. Their annual collection drive is gathering essential dorm room items for students continuing their education away from home. You can drop off donations like luggage, twin XL bedding, laundry hampers, detergent, shower caddies, all at the SAISD headquarters lobby between 8:30 this morning and 3:30 p.m. The items will help support up to 200 students from SAISD's class of 2025 as they start their college journey. The Housing Authority of Bexar County is working to gather school supplies for its students in need. They're on a mission to fill 800 backpacks with supplies.
And you can help them with that goal. You can go and drop off school items at the Housing Authority of Bexar County's main office at 1954 Houston Street, or you can make a purchase through their Amazon wish list.
All the details can be found at KSATcommunity.com. The Back to School Collection Drive runs through July 31st.
It is that season,
Back to school.
Back to school, man.
Yes.
I can't even imagine that it's already that time.
Hey, I bet the kids are like that too, so they better enjoy
Mine
the
don't
last
want to
few
hear
days.
about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it right now. But the emails are flooding in from the schools. You know, the welcome back breakfasts and the prep days, as they call them, where you go and you tour the campus and all that stuff. So it's coming.
I know. I see online a few people doing like college orientations, and I saw that that college drop off. That is such a great idea, especially when you're going to college. You don't necessarily know what you do and don't need.
Right.
I just hope, I know my dorm when I went to college didn't have AC. So I hope some people have at least some sort of AC or anything, especially this week.
Well, I was just going to say, for the time being, while they're still out of school, they can be in the pool.
Yes.
Because the summer temps are still here.
Definitely going to want to be inside, maybe in the pool or something, because it's going to be toasty, except maybe next weekend. We're tracking some rain next weekend, but in the meantime, throughout the next few days, you're definitely going to want to be somewhere where you can kind of cool down. Now, temperatures right now still sitting in those 70s. Feels a little warmer, but that's just due to that humidity we're still seeing this morning. Sitting at about 72 degrees in areas of Bernie, 75 in Converse, 76 in New Braunfels, and later today, we're still going to get to the warmer side. However, this is going to be closer to average, and that's due to that cloud coverage we've continued to see. Now, today in San Antonio, we're anticipated to get to about 95, but areas just in the hill country and just to the north and the east, where we're seeing those cloudy skies, that's where we're staying in those mid-90s. But areas just to the west and to the south, Poteet, Uvalde, even near Castroville, they're going to be above about 94, 95 degrees, and they have the chance to be on the warmer side once again. But not only that, most of the country is going to be above average for that. We can see temperatures all the way going up to Pierce, South Dakota, Wichita, Kansas, going into about 96, 97, and that's because of this heat high. This heat high that's still sitting in areas of the Gulf is going to continue to move into areas across the southeast and across the central portion of the country, giving them some warmer temperatures today. But it's also giving us some rain chances, or at least the ability to not see any rain chances over the next few days. But what we're watching, yes, it's still a week away, but I still want to give you that heads up, because it's going to be a little rainy over next weekend. So I wanted to give everyone that chance to kind of see what's going to go on, and we'll continue to give you updates daily for what exactly. So that heat high and that heat dome is going to continue to give us some drier conditions today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and even a little bit on Thursday. You can see in San Antonio, that's why we're still going to see some clearer skies. But then on Thursday, this low pressure system that hasn't even formed yet in the Gulf, that's important to remember. As this low pressure system continues to build up that extratropical moisture and gets closer to areas of South Texas, that's going to continue to give us the chance for some moisture. We're not really seeing any chances of rain until late Thursday night, even maybe some Friday morning. And that's just going to be the normal sea breeze. But once again, this low pressure system hasn't formed yet. So depending on if it goes to the north, to the south, or even just shifts any small way, it can continue to have more rain if it shifts to the north for areas of San Antonio, or if it shifts south, we can see a little less rain. So we'll keep you updated. But as this low pressure system continues to move, all of that tropical moisture is going to feel and feed into areas of South Texas and even getting into portions of Louisiana. This is going to be Friday into Saturday for your weekend. Once again, it's still a week away, so things can change ever so slightly, but we're still seeing some leftover moisture still possible as we get into Sunday and Monday. But we're still in a drought. I'll talk about that later on. But here's how much rain, courtesy of NCEI, for how much rain just over a 2-month period, how much rain we need in certain areas to fully get rid of that drought. In areas of the hill country going to Del Rio, Uvalde, they need about 9 inches. Just to the south, they need about 10. But including Bexar County and Medina County, that's important, we need about 15 inches of rain because most of the rain that's fallen over the last month or two has been in the hill country or just to the west along the Rio Grande, along the Frio and the Sabinal River, not as much in areas just to the east. So we need about a few more inches of rain to be able to help contribute to get rid of that drought. Now, once again, we've seen about 20 inches in areas of the hill country over the last month. This is a look at the United States for the rainfall over the last 30 days. Areas in the upper portion of the Midwest saw some heavy rain just to the east, and even of Florida, they also saw some heavy rain. But really zooming in areas of San Antonio and areas across South Texas, like I mentioned, we have continued to see the chance of more rain later on this week, but any rain that falls is already falling on very saturated ground. That's why when I showed you just the last slide in the last graphic, where in the hill country they only need about 9 inches of rain, it's because they've already seen about 20 inches of rain. So they definitely need less than areas like Bexar County, areas just like Floresville, where they need a little more rain showers to kind of help us get rid or at least diminish some of the drought conditions. Now, I am going to show you this kind of slider just to kind of show you, and I am going to step off the screen here in a second. Areas to the east, that's where that drought currently is. On the left side, this is what the drought was about May 27th. Now, once again, I am going to step off the screen to kind of show you a little comparison. On the left side, once again, that's what the drought was about 2 months ago. We saw that exceptional drought for most of us here across South Central Texas. This is the latest drought monitor. A lot of improvement for most of us, and we'll keep you posted on kind of the track and timing of the rain we can see next weekend and how it will impact our drought conditions. But kind of just to give you a perspective is we're still in the drought. Yes, we've seen a lot of rain, but more rain can't really hurt us. It can help us. We just kind of need it to calm down in a sense, guys.
All right, Shelby, thank you very much for that. So back outside to show you some roads, and really not a lot to see. We've got, what, like 24 cameras at our disposal here, and really there's just like a vehicle pulled over to the side right here at 90 at Medio Creek, and as you can see, not really slowing anybody down on either direction right now. So we're just keeping an eye on construction. They're the most active scenes that have been reported right now are in the I-10 Crossroads Boulevard area, and then of course we showed you earlier the fine silver curve right there, which again is down to 1 lane right now for people who are leaving the downtown area and heading out eventually on I-10, but they've got the cones and barrels up and blocked off as they're doing some joint repair work and just reinforcement there on the fine silver curve. So again, right now pretty quiet out there, Jaffney. Not a lot to see, and hopefully it will continue to stay that way.
Let's see if photojournalist Alex Gomez has the same kind of news coming your way. Alex, you still rolling on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, rolling on over here on the east side, Jaffney. Good morning. And right now we're just really watching those construction spots. The main one being downtown, I-35 northbound at Laredo. That lower level is closed and the left lanes are closed. And like Ernie was mentioning, fine silver curve only has one lane open. So one area that I'm not seeing construction is going to be on the northeast side. I-35 on the northeast side is going to be completely open. No construction happening over there. So our northeast side drivers is going to have a fast commute this morning, Jaffney.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you again. GMSA continues.
Very good. 5:53 right now, 77 degrees outside.
Stick around, because after the break, we're going to tell you how you can vote on your San Antonio favorites at KSAT.com.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite hairstylist? SA Picks is back, and we want to know who you think are the top businesses in the city. There are more than 90 categories to vote on. Just scan the QR code on your screen. You can vote for each category once a day, and you have until August 1st to vote. The finalists will be announced on August 19th, and then there'll be another round of voting from August 20th through September 12th to determine the big winners. We'll announce the winners in late September, so cast your vote now for your favorite business to be recognized as the best in San Antonio.
All right, 5:56 right now, 77 degrees outside.
All right, well, we will leave you with Alex Gomez's.
The best drive cam.
Hands down, right? Absolutely. We'll hear from Alex coming up. And Devin Karp joining us live, too. The Kirk County officials set to have a very important commissioners meeting there in Kirk County. And Devin will give us a preview of all of that coming up and a whole lot more here on GMSA, so don't go away.